Let me ask you something. Do you know this building? Most likely not. You've probably never even seen this building before. It's called the Federal Reserve, and it was created by Congress in 1913. The Fed, as it's often called. Its purpose, you ask? To supervise and regulate banks and conduct the nation's monetary policy by influencing money and credit and other financial services. But I have to tell you something very important, something I can't stress enough. This bank isn't owned by the U.S. government. Its name has the word federal, but it is nothing of the sort. The Federal Reserve is a privately owned bank owned by private investors. Why is this important information, you ask? Well, ever since the Federal Reserve, the IRS, and the 16th Amendment were created, the dollar has lost 95.6% of its purchasing power. Now that's insane, you may say, but let me explain. The U.S. currency is the standard in oil. Whenever a country wants to buy a barrel of oil, they must exchange their currency for American currency to buy it. This is also known as the petrodollar. Printing money out of thin air is another thing the Fed loves to do. And since it's a privately owned bank, whenever the U.S. needs more money, they borrow it from the Fed, and the Fed charges interest, causing more debt. What's even more disgusting than that? America used to have a soundproof money system, gold standard currency. Our money was backed by gold. Now these days, we have what is called a fiat currency, a currency not backed by a physical commodity. Fiat currency value is derived from supply and demand, creating even more weakness in our economy. Now, who owns the Federal Reserve Bank, you ask? Since it's privately owned, three major families. We have the Rockefellers, the Morgans, and above all, the Rothschilds. The Rothschild family can be attributed to most of the damage done to not just our economic system, but Europe's too. We are enslaved by debt. It's economic collapse by design.